PUBG tournament. It's going to be the SLTV Cup, obviously the first person duos tournament. We're just jumping into the game. The server's just readying up and the players will be dropping out of the plane and will be jumping right in. Obviously this is the English broadcast. If you would like the Russian broadcast, you can find that on twitch.tv/PUBG SLTV. My name is Hugo. I'm going to be taking you through the best of 5 today, all the matches that we have up for you guys, and obviously a little bit of prize board at the end for the players. So I'm going to be jumping right in, watching the plane. It's going to be starting off on the northeastern trajectory, ending in the southwestern. So we're going to have a fair bit of action around Yasnia. We're probably going to see some players drop around the Primorsk area, maybe at the end. And obviously Pashinki is going to be a pretty good target for now. Military base going to stay fairly untouched for the time being. So we'll see if anyone decides to grab a car and head down there to start things off. But it seems like most players are splitting up. Obviously, this is going to be a duos tournament, so that means action's going to be a little more active, I think, than the squads tournament, because again, there's going to be more people dropping in, or more teams, sorry, dropping into the big areas instead of just big four-man. So we'll be waiting for everyone to kind of settle down, get out their parachutes, get on the ground, and then we'll be jumping right in. So where do we start here? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We've not got much action, at least towards Kameshki, the latest addition to this game. Obviously, the latest town added, and we've only got one duo over there. It's going to be the boys Bakarov and Gumna. If I butcher any pronunciations, I apologise. But yeah, they're going to be starting off there. Not too much action towards a school or Rozhok for that. For anyone, we're not going to see any contact towards this side of the map. It's instead going to be mostly south. As people start to head towards a military base, we're actually going to see the first duo head across the bridge and get down there. It's going to be Hawkan, and he will be heading down on the bike. Is he alone? Is he completely alone? That would be a ballsy move. He is. So we'll be seeing if he comes into contact with anyone. Not sure where his buddy is, but early death, or he'll be later on with a cool. You've actually got his buddy. They both split up to go find it. They'll have the military base completely to themselves. And this is pretty massive. Again, starting things off, if you have the military base completely to yourself at the beginning of the map, and then also have the zone fairly in your favour, you're going to not only have a lot of gear, but you're going to be staying alive until at least the top 50, because most people aren't going to head down towards a military base. You're going to have all of that to yourself. So we've had a couple of deaths towards the centre of the zone, and this is really going to screw over people towards the western front. We're going to have players up in Georgiapol may struggle a little bit, as they're going to have to make a bit of a route across. But it's not the worst. It's not, where you got Severny players and a southern military base zone. It's fairly equal, so it's not going to be all bad here. We've got some players starting to clear out the buildings in Yasnia. This is some terrible observing. I can't find where the players are. I'll put the name tags on that. Will probably help. We've had a little bit of a team wipe up here, so 2 players already down up in Georgiapol, but there's a lot of action here. There's 3 duos at least, and a 4th solo player just sitting on his own, yet to come into Georgiapol for the time being. At least towards Kameshki, these guys are still kind of rocking it out. We've not got any action here just yet, so we're going to be waiting for most people to start the early gearing phase and then move into this zone, because obviously this is going to completely cut off the entirety of the western part of the map, and most of the military bases as well. Sorry, if we take a look down there, we can see what these guys are getting up to. Again, they've still got the entirety of the base to themselves, so they're going to be pretty fully geared as they start to clean up the apartments buildings. I mean, you can already see an AK on Hawkan. He's got a shotgun, level 2 backpack, missing some crucials like armor and a helmet. Only got level 1 armor there, but other than that, it's looking pretty good for these guys, and they should be okay. But as I say that, we've got a bit more action towards the eastern bridge. Another duo starting to make their way down. They have the option to go to Novo, especially with a zone like this. Novo would be a good decision to go towards right now, but we'll see if they want to head towards a military base instead, or I'll just go straight for Novo. Seems like Novo is going to be the choice. So yeah, good choice here. Again, completely empty. A lot of gear in the crates as good military spawns towards this part of the map, and everyone else clearly missed the memo. You see this a lot in PUBG tournaments. Players really don't like to hit the military base early on because they expect it to be full, but because of that, everyone kind of just double guesses themselves, and you never really see any military base action. So everyone down here is going to be completely okay. We only have 2 duos on the entirety of this island. So, I mean, these guys are going to be pretty geared as we head later into the game, but for the time being, not much else is going on. We might have a bit of a fight going on. Melman's going to be over here. We've got 2 more players starting to enter the zone, and they're going to be coming up on this position. So one of these towns up towards the southern part of the island. we may be seeing some contact come into play because these two players are split up. This is dangerous. Mailman's over here. He's got himself a Mini 14, but his teammate, Jastic, is going to be on the other part of the building. So if we see these two start to move up, this is where things could get slightly dangerous. They're going to begin to move on to the hill, and I'm getting a little bit worried for these two. Again, being split up is so dangerous, and the gunshots over here are going to be heard by these two players just northern. So we're going to start to see these two guys moved up. Not a lot of gear. We got an M. Actually, I say that M16. What am I saying? An SKS, and obviously level 2 helmet. But again, no armor here. This is no, that's level 2. So we're okay. These guys are pretty good, I'd say. Lack of backpack, but this is really where they're going to be able to gear up. Dogsy moving forward as well. Only got a UMP, and they're actually just going to give up. They notice that this area is looted, and they just fall on back. So don't even want to fight towards this part of the map. It's interesting to see that as well. I'll just walk away, or maybe re-wrapping. I'm not too sure what these guys are doing. They're split up. We've still got Mailman here. None the wiser that these guys are starting to move forward. As you can see, he's just taking a look over towards the bridge area. So here's where we might see a little bit of combat come into play, because he's going to be very, very close by to these two other players. Starts to move down the hill. We'll spot them, and this is where we're going to see the fight. Spraying away onto Fruzy. Gets a bit of damage, but he's not going to close it out. And Fruzy's still got his teammate nearby. He's going to have trade potential, as you can see. Dogsy's coming in from the back line. Mailman's going to begin to move up. And he's just at the top of the hill as he starts to move on top. More damage. He downs him. That's enough. His teammate needs to come in for support, and Jatstick will. But Dogsy, now whipping out the SKS, now looks to do some damage. Has to move back in. His teammate's down, but not out. They haven't finished off the job, but he's been spotted. Jackstick on top of the hill has now cornered Dogsy, and he is really screwed in this position. No sights for his SKS. Got to use the iron sights for this one. And his teammate already starting to fall down. Fruzy's losing more and more health. Dogsy is running out of options here, as they just hold front to the top of the hill. They're not even going to move away. Dogsy just gets dropped, and that'll be it. That'll be the duo completely wiped. A nice work from Mailman and Jatstick. Considering they didn't know the enemies were there either, that's a pretty impressive defeat for them to actually get. I'm just going to jump over to a quick pause overlay and change some of the graphic settings so we get some better FPS. So do give us a second, guys. We'll be back in just a sec. So all should be running slightly better now, I hope. I'm not sure why it's not running the best, but we're back in. That's done. But that being said, we've started to have these northern players move down. We saw them at the houses earlier, and now they're actually fighting. Jastic going to get caught out here as these two push up. Bembik spotted, and he's going to get damaged as well. Jastic tagged. Bembik's going to wrap the top of the hill. Wants to play to the height advantage here as he moves down in from above. We'll spot him in the open line down, and that'll be Jastic dropped. Now leaves one player left from the duo, but they don't know where Mailman is. Jastic can get behind cover. He can just fall back to this tree, but Mailman, he's just leaving him out to dry. Mailman doesn't want to save his teammate. He's running. Jastic's dead in the water, and Mailman's just going to get the hell out of there. He doesn't have a lot to play with. Fair enough, only one weapon, but still, to leave your teammate hanging like that, that's a big surprise. So we're going to be seeing him get out of there for the time being, hold on to his weaponry. His teammate looking like he's going to be finished off in a second as well. There's really not a lot of options. He's trying to play to the little hill he has there, but these players are moving down onto him, so he will be dead soon. He's actually just leaving a trail of loot. Is that purpose? That is great. Jastic's just dropping his loot as he walks away, knowing that, maybe this loot together and they kill him, that they won't find it, something like that. I don't know, maybe just playing. He's a crowd pleaser, Jastic. But yeah, there's no way he makes it out of here. Mailman is already running swiftly away from this one, leaving his teammate to die. So Jastic is going to be alone in this one, as now the zone's going to start to move in. You can see players force from the western side into the zone. We're going to have these guys up in Zaki here. Kamka going to have to move out of this position soon, because if you look, the zone's coming in. It's very close. There's typically a couple of vehicle spawns in Zaki, so they should be okay, but now they're going to start to take damage as the zone actually crosses them. Do they have a vehicle? That's the question, because I don't see anything around here. This could come back to haunt them again. We've seen players heal up in the blue zone. There's lots of options, but it's going to be pretty dangerous considering how far they need to travel. If there is no vehicle spawn, again, with no guaranteed vehicles in this game, there's no vehicle spawn. These guys might not even make it to the next zone, so they've got to be very aware. We'll check in with them later and see if they make it inwards. And Talking about inwards, most people are doing exactly that. We've got the Primorsk players moving in. We've got most of Georgia Pool as well cleared out. Buster just trying to clear up the pieces. And now the players that we followed at the start towards Kameshki at the top of the map are moving down. But this isn't necessarily the best idea, because look at where they're going to end up. They're going to end up next to this other duo. Coming up on the southern side of Kameshki, actually getting shot down. These two players have control of the buildings, and both vehicle drivers are just going to split up. They don't even want to take this fight. The thing is, they don't need to. They can move towards the safety of the zone, allow the other two who are stuck up in the buildings to have to move on to their position, and then they can take them down from range. So there's not a lot of pressure on these guys to actually make a play from this position. And we're actually going to see Gumner reconsider this one. He's coming back in for more, it seems. As he wraps back around with the bike, going to be moving up. But no, okay, they should be falling away from this. Again, with the zone in their favour, they have vehicles, they have gear. No reason to stay towards this side of the map for too much longer. But at least down towards the southern part of Milta, we've got something going on here. A drop is dropping. A player, or a team, sorry, is going to pick it up. Although I'm not sure if they even noticed that the drop is right above them. Right there. They're going to run right past it. So completely unaware of the potential here, as we see them start to move into the more southern part. And this is where we're going to see a lot of damage here, because we have two teams towards the building complex. Another team moving on up as well. Things are going to start to get a bit dicey. Got two players up in the attic. I don't think they even realise that Faultlessly are starting to move in. It's Kimmy and Electro Panda. As they hold on, they're actually going to be spotted going for some shots, or at least just breaking the windows. There's actually the guys at range are trying to take down. They see Nazak and Fuzik towards the other side of the building, so they're going to just fire off some pop shots. The issue is that gives away their position to the other players who are sat towards the northern buildings, but now they're going to spot them. Now they're going to start to look down, and tyres being broken of the vehicle, stopping the getaway from these two. It seems like they won't be coming into contact just yet. Actually, they're going to start to wrap. That's Electro Panda going towards the outside here. He's going to be moving around the back of the complex. Kimmy's still sat in the building, and the other two just holding front for the time being. Not going to be confronting just yet, it seems. Right now, what Kimmy and Electro Panda are trying to do is just baiting these two. Kimmy still stays in the top of the attic here, so he waits for these players to move on, and when he spots them trying to wrap the outside of the building, Panda can just strike from the outside. Kimmy still spraying away, still trying to connect the shots, actually throwing nades, dangerous from indoors. You know how easily they can clip. And just trying to flash out, spots another player. Grisha is seen. So the 4-time scope is going to be out here for Kimmy. He tries to hunt him down, but he won't be able to. Instead, it's going to be Electro outside, still sat towards his back. Ooh, still sat towards his back position here. Just holding on, spots Grisha. But he's not going to take the shot. Doesn't get the angle to. Just playing the ledge. Again, this is first person, so they can't, see round corners. Going to make things very hard for Electro Panda to get anything done here. But luckily, Kimmy's actually beginning to wrap the right side of the complex as these players look to attack them. Wait, what? Who's this guy? Where did he come from? He just disappeared. I have no idea what's going on there. Either way, still this fight is going on. Neither team moving in. Oh, but did they just get the car? The car that the wheels were broken earlier. Faultlessly just tries to get in the vehicle, but they realise... Sorry, it's actually Grishka. They realise all the tyres are popped from earlier. Kimmy up in the window broke all those. So now they have no getaway plan. Now they need to either make it on foot or commit to the gunfight in this position. Not left with a lot of options. Electro's starting to wrap, and Kimmy is still doing the same around the back side of the buildings. Actually does succeed in doing so, but they have another vehicle, so they've got more options here. Now here's where the wrap comes in. Electro and Kimmy trying to time this one right. If they can spot this next UAZ, they can definitely break the wheels and be even more of a nuisance. Kimmy still holding on for the time being, hasn't been spotted. It's actually Electro who's going to be spotted as these players actually see them moving in. Just going to drop that down. Hopefully it'll fix the FPS. I know why we have FPS issues, so after the first map I'll actually restart the stream and fix that. So, oh, that should be good. There we go. That should help. But yeah, I know why we have FPS issues, but I'll have to restart the stream before we can fix that. Still, this gunfight is taking an awfully long time. Kimmy and Electro still haven't found these two hidden up in the buildings, and with the zone coming in, we can have a look towards other players and check out what's going on, because these guys don't seem to be fighting. We've got the Zaki guys moving in from the north of the map. They've actually made their way away from Zaki, but they're still outside the zone. They're still taking a lot of damage here, so if we actually have a look at them as they move into Severny, they're going to have trouble keeping themselves alive. I mean, they're double stimmed up. They're going to be getting a lot of HP off the back of this, but other than that, things are looking quite dire. They're going to need to have a lot of medical supplies if they want to keep alive and keep into this game, because now they've got to hurry up and move into this zone. They can't spend too long around this shooting range. They've got to make their way in. And that's exactly what most people are doing as well. We actually have some gunfights going down now. We missed it, but Kimmy has finally striked. He's going to have taken down the first player. Grishka's still alive up in the building, but Kimmy's wrap has worked out very, very well, as now he's turned it into a 1v2, leaving just Grishka. Has the option to get in that UAZ and get the hell out of here, but it seems like he's just going to hold on to the building for the time being. Make sure these guys aren't pushing him, aren't wrapping the right side. But that they are. They've grouped up. And after finishing off that one player, not even leaving him down so he could get picked back up, they're going to be in a great position. They can easily start to clear this one up. We haven't had these northern players move in from above, and now Kimmy, he's going to start to make a bit of a play. He wants to run inside of the building and maybe get in the face of Grishka, who's alone. Again, knowing that there's trade potential on these two players here means that this job is going to be, in theory, a lot easier. Grishka's left with not a lot of options. And Kimmy, he's going to begin to wrap the backside. Grishka just sitting in the doorway. Here they come. Grishka's going to hear the footsteps as well. He's just holding the window. As soon as the door opens, he can flick back towards that too, but he's not got much cover from this position. So this is a very dangerous angle to be holding, especially with both players close. But he spots them. He'll see the arms as they start to walk in front of him. He actually doesn't take the kill. He lets them go, but he shoots and he knocks down Kimmy as well. Doesn't see Electro Panda get outside the right side of the car, but he's going to peek in from the top side and he gets more damage. Finishes off them both. What a great performance from Grishka. He knows they're jumping in the car. He takes them both down and he wins that gunfight. That's a lot of loot left for him now, and the car fully intact. Grishka's teammate may have been dropped, but he's going to at least pull things back into a more reasonable scenario. What a great performance from Grishka. Now we actually have Kamka moving back in as well. They came from Zaki earlier on. We've looked at them. They finally moved back inside the zone. So these two, they should be okay for the time being. There's two in the car. They're going to be making it safely in. But the issue is they're going to come under a bit of gunfire potentially. Horsex and Mapoxa up on top of the hill, moving around towards Yasnia. And this is where things could get dangerous. They're on hot pursuit from Kamka. So they start to move on in. Horsex, he's going to spot them. He hears the car going past, but they've got no cover. They could be run over here in the middle of the field. They need to be careful. Get behind some trees. Get behind some rubble. As they start to spray down, we're going to see Horsex do the damage. Put these guys down to low HP as they're already being tagged up by the zone. But the car, it might explode here. They've done a lot of damage onto this vehicle. They're actually going to have to jump out. The car's almost on fire. So making it away on foot, but they do make it away. And that's a crucial part. They get into a bit of cover. They get into the building. So the guys on the top of the hill aren't going to be able to stop them from this position. The issue is they're being peppered from all sides. We've got players everywhere around just shooting on down. As these guys start to move in, they'll spot them inside the building. Mapoxa doing damage, but he's going to be tagged up. And this is the lack of cover that we talked about. Mapoxa's so deep here. And Horsex is also tagged up. It's going to be Mapoxa to go down and Horsex to try and heal up, try and stay alive. His teammate at this point should be considered out of the fight. I don't think there's going to be a lot of options for him to save him. As the gunshots come in, Mapoxa gets finished off with a scar, and it's just going to be Horsex stuck towards his radio tower. Alone here, and again, still out the zone, has got to start to move back in, but Kamka and his teammate, they have the advantage. While he has a high ground, it's not going to play to his benefit. They can just hold on to this. They know he's still behind that building there, so right now they're in the driving seat. Their car may be totaled, but they can run to the zone. They're within distance, and Horsex is going to have to be the man who comes down from the top of the radio tower. Really cornered here. Things are going to start to look very difficult, and they'll just move out and finish him off with a Mini 14. He peeks for a second, and they wipe him down. And they have time as well. 1 minute left on the clock before the zone starts to come in, so they can actually go up, pick up the loot, and move down. But they're actually taking fire from somewhere else. Got to be very careful as they go for this loot. Well, we've had players move out of the military base. Most of them. Hawken's going to be coming in late. But a couple of players into some gunfights here. For some reason, it's not showing the names, the logos. Not sure what's going on there, but oh yeah, it's because it's the range. That's why. We'll turn up the range a little bit. Maybe a bit. Oh, you can't toggle it. You have to literally. There we go. Stay there. No. This is not going well. There we go. That should be fixed. Well, Hawkins moving up from the military base, going into the safety of the white zone, that of which has moved very far north, so they need to make their way up. Because now it's going to be maybe another gunfight coming down towards the western side. Sorry, the eastern side. Near the mansion, we've got players moving in on the car. It's going to be Alex looking for action. 2v2. Scrapped and Alex versus Pashnov and Aganov. As they start to move in, Scap going to move inside the building. It's actually his teammate to do the damage, but Alex gets downed. It's a 1v1 now. One player down on either side. And Scap going to move in, doing damage, but he actually does go down. It's Agrinov to take him down, but he is so low HP, and he's getting peppered as well. Will have time to heal himself up and save his teammate, but not a lot of it. Getting peppered from the hill. It's going to be True One, actually, on the top. They've spotted the confrontation. They've seen what's going down. And they're going to be shooting in down from the top. So, near towards a mansion, in a far safer position as well. This building is going to be very good. But Agrinov and Pashkov, they're going to be in cover. So, there shouldn't be an issue here. That duo is being cleaned up. 4 turn to 2. And now we've got these players from the northern side moving in as well. They've cleaned up the bodies of the 2 that they killed towards a radio tower, and they're going to try and get into some realm of safety. Yasnia is still in the zone as well, so that's pretty safe, but look at this, what's going on? Scarfire, as Hawken and his teammate will start to move in. We've got players up ahead. They're actually going to wrap around them. They're not going to go towards these buildings, so they can get away from them for the time being. Although I say that, Hawken's going to continue to move up. Very dangerous driving. Yeah, they're not going to go towards Scarfire or CKA Fire, who's just sitting underneath the stairs, really playing this one careful, it seems. Where's his teammate? Up on the top? Yeah, okay. So they're just holding onto the building. Again, they're in the center of the zone. There's no real reason for them to move. If they have gear, then they are fine. Look at the next zone as well. That is perfect. They are going to be in some of the best positions possible, these 2 duos. So considering Hawken, who went to the military base earlier on in the game, he's now got himself in a great spot. But we're moving on top of the hill. As the zone begins to come on down, we've got to fight. Bembik is going to be the last man standing. I think his teammate just got down in the process, but he may be able to finish him up and heal him. Actually, they're both alive. They're geared up. So these 2 just on the edge. They've got 1 minute 33 before that zone moves in again. They've just wiped another duo. Going to have more weight on his own, spraying away at the vehicle that moves away, and everyone's just kind of quickly trying to get inside this next zone. And in fact, there's not enough buildings to go around. We have 54th up here in the building with his teammate Animal, and it's going to be Buster alone in the building next to him. Has to hold on to this. He's going to hear all the footsteps nearby and the car pulling up. We've even got another vehicle coming. There's a lot of confrontation going here. So many fights going on. We've even got Pudge moving in on foot with a Groza, a gun that he must have gotten from the drop. It's now going to be 7P and a Baska. As they start to move in, there's a duo here, a solo player and a guy moving in from the drop that he just got in the field. So very close. You've got 3 buildings and 3... well, either duos or solos. Sorry, 4 buildings split between 3 of them. So right now, everyone's just holding onto their buildings and not pushing back in. Not looking to take any more control than they have to. And just sharing this territory with others. But eventually, when the zone cuts these guys off and they have to move outside, things are going to be a lot more difficult because they're going to be forced to kill everyone here. And actually, I think they realise that they look like they may want to move. Already looking towards the windows and doors. We finally got Pudge moving down. He actually might be buddies with Buster in this situation as well. I'm not sure if he is. Starting to get a little bit dangerous. These players are very, very close, but not going to be confronting for the time being. It's actually Hawken, who held onto this building earlier, and we've now got him completely under fire. He's found himself on top of the roof, and him and his teammate going to down 1, but they're getting wrapped. True One coming in from the backside, going to be running into the building, so he's not even going to take the fight outside. Wants to go close range with the UMP as he climbs up the stairs. Hawken's on the balcony, got to be very careful, but I don't think they realise he's actually up here. Hawken's jumped down. He's being wrapped himself as he goes back into the building, back to the stairs. They're both there, and he sprays, but he can't connect it. He's dead in the water. Hawken, I love the wrap. They clear it up and they get outside. They jump off the balcony, go back inside the building, and then get that double kill to close out that fight. So they've won this area once again. This is Hawkins. As now the zone really starting to get tight. There's no one else outside it as well. Only QWERTY who's making his way up from the prison, and everyone else seeming like they're going to get inside this white zone. Again, this does so much damage at this point. They have to pretty much get inside the zone. And Megacore, he knows they have to. As he holds the outside, he's going to be able to catch these guys off. But they jump out the car, they surround him. He's going to be caught between two vehicles. Got to move into some kind of safety. Got to take a fight, and he will. Damage onto Maxi, but he's getting more damage received, and he'll go down. So he tries to hold them as they come into the zone, but he gets dropped. They don't really have a lot of time for looting, so they need to be quick on this one as they start to grab his stuff and move back up north. The blue zone, 1 minute 45 before it will cut down onto these guys, and people starting to move on in. Still, by these buildings, we have the same groups of players. I think Buster and Pudge have got to be duo here together because they seem to be sticking fairly close together. But we've got another duo moving in as a replacement. Rogger on foot, going to be pushing him with 30-48 as they begin to take him out towards these buildings. It's going to be dangerous because there's a lot of players on the inside. They've spotted them. They're down one, and they'll finish off the job. Spotting Rogger as well. He gets dropped. And Nino holding on to this building with his life. But now with those gunshots given away, that's going to make it blindingly obvious where they're playing. 7P and Abasaka, who've held on to these buildings for a fair while now, are going to know there's two more in the building next to them. They've got to be careful of that. But they still don't want to make a play. Still taking things very, very safe here. Wanting to get into the top. As meanwhile, outside now the white zone, we're going to have Finn. He's alone. He's lost his teammates in the process. He's not only got players behind him, but he's also got players in front. Two of them, in fact. He's down one. He's doing a good job of holding on to this one, but he's going to peek out for a little bit more. But it's actually the flank from the back lines. These players on top of the hill clean up the duo that Finn started. One of them gets down in the process, and it's going to be Pudge and Buster actually doing the damage. They wipe that duo. So somehow, out of all of this, Finn will stay alive. And while he's in the middle of the field, he's just by the edge of the zone, and he's got really good cover from the three sets of hay bales right around him. So he's actually come on top of this fight. These two cleared up, leaves it just to the players this side. So yeah, Finn in a really good position, but I don't think he knows it just yet. He doesn't know that everyone has been wiped. Right now, the best two are looking like Pudge and Buster, who I was questioning earlier, and they've just taken solace in the middle of the zone, but the kills are going to start to come down near the southern side. It's Vampire having to revive his teammate. His car's already blown up. Nothing he can do about that. And getting shot down from Hawken. One of the contenders, in my opinion, to win this, just due to the gear they got on the military base and the late round positions which they've taken. We've seen them have good control over the buildings, and it seems to be working out for them. But these two still hold strong. They've got the Car 98 helmet shot. I think it's broken as well. He's lost his helmet. They've actually both lost their helmets, and now they're susceptible to getting one shot out of this one. As Hawken still sits on the hill, he's going to start to move around. His teammate still firing down, and Hawken's going to begin to wrap. They're actually getting flanked here, shooting at players coming out. As you can see, they're going to be taking shots, finishing off more and more. And Hawken and KTV, they are really doing a good job. But Hawken's caught outside the blue, and he's tagged up as well. He's actually down. So now KTV has to revive him, but there's not a lot of options. As he begins to move in, he will save somewhat, but he's still in the open, trying to get to his teammate. KTV going to get shot as well. Droke wants to use this to try and revive his teammate because he's not got a whole lot of life left. But now somehow Hawken and KTV not in their best position at all. Vampire's going to begin to wrap the top side of the hill, and that will be Hawken going down. It's Pudge taking him, and these two players shooting in from the building, shooting in from the field, sorry, the centre of the field. They've done a great job. These two duos coming in from this side of the buildings have actually gone down as well. It's 54 who's won the fight. So him and Anino, who held onto the buildings earlier, have taken down the others. They're still outside of the zone, but they've got 40 seconds to play with. It's left to just 4 duos left. 8 players, both duos fully intact. Kamka playing things very safe on the edge of the zone. Double stimming up. They've got double vehicles as well. If they want to move in together, they're going to have good cover if they play behind those vehicles. Drop in the centre, but that's already been retrieved. The Groza was taken from that in the hands of Pudge. And Buster, he's split away from his teammate. He's very, very on his own now, at least, secluded. As Pudge, he's going to be over here by the gear, trying to loot up on those players they finished earlier from the top of the hill. But look at him. He's completely unaware that 2 players are moving towards him. Downs one. Great shot with the Groza, but he doesn't realise. And Nino is pushing in close as well. He spots him finally. Can heal up. 54th is down, but he re-peaks. He's getting so tagged. He gets panned as well. And Nino, he has to move in, but his teammate's down, and the zone is not in his favour. It's starting to move on into his position, and he'll get dropped. So again, Pudge holds on to that position, and we're going to see these two get on top of the gunfight. Buster and Pudge still in this one. One more duo wiped, but one more duo to come. Buster, surely he has spotted them by this point. They're right next to him. They're moving up the hill, but they've got cover. Hidden behind the sandbag. The sandbag's hay bales, at least, as they begin to move in. Still Vampire playing towards the bottom of the zone, but Buster, he spotted these guys, and he's doing damage. Hasn't downed either of them yet. But look how close Kamka is to this position. Buster's been spotted, finished off by Kamka, but it's traded with Azver going down. Pudge now alone as Buster's finished off. The job done by Kamka. He can actually revive his teammate as well, because Pudge isn't even trying to help from this position. But the main duo the main threat right now is Maxi and Vampire, the only man with 2 men still standing and not downed. But Pudge is moving up the hill, and he hasn't spotted Maxi right in front of him. To his left, to his right, his teammate might be calling, but he's right next to him. As he looks round, does take him down with a Groza. Great aim again. One more drop to Vampire. He needs to get his teammate back up, hiding in the grass. Pudge has seen him as well. He's given away his position. No way Pudge finds this. He gets both kills. Pudge turning this into a 1v2. A revive can come in. Kamka picking up his teammate that Buster downed earlier before his demise. And now it's a 2v1. Pudge knows where these last players were seen. Smoke wall down. So they have a lot of cover to play with now. Kamka and Desver. As Pudge, he begins to wrap all the way around the northern side, trying to get round the edge of the zone again. He can just play the zone to a T at this point. He can move in, but the thing is, there's no cover in this. Look at how open it is. Not even the road is even contained. As these players start to move up, Pudge, he needs to be aware, and he's going to spot them. Damage done. He almost takes down the first player, but he's getting shot up, and that will be him going down. Kamka and Azverin, they will find that victory for you guys, and that will be the winners, at least, of the first map here in this best of 5 series. Either way, what a great performance that was. We're going to be going for a break, tally up some points, see how everyone did, and we'll be back shortly with map number 2.